Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook, and we're here to talk about the latest episode of Batwoman Season 2 entitled Do Not Resuscitate. And guys, this is going to be a short video because this episode just wasn't good. That's my off the top of the head summary. It wasn't good. But let's look at why. The episode starts off with some folks in a lab who are trying to synthesize a cure-all from the blood of a person who received the cure-all as anti-bat venom after the bats had attacked Gotham. Of course, this cure-all was manufactured from the flower that comes from the island where Sephora or Sephara, whatever the hell her name is, lives. And they discover rather gruesomely that when you try to synthesize the cure-all from the blood of someone who's already received it, you actually can't. What you get is not the cure-all. And the person that they gave it to kind of dies, spurting blood out of his whole face, basically. So I wrote, well, that's not good. But what I did understand in that moment is how this miracle cure plot is a Batwoman plot. Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like a superhero plot to me. It seems like it belongs on a different sort of show, like a sci-fi show. I don't know. That's my impression. I don't see why it's a Batwoman plot. Maybe it'll grow on me, but so far, I'm not getting it. There were a couple more scenes, but nothing really notable until we wind up in the hospital with Ryan and her girlfriend because her kryptonite poisoning has suddenly acted up after 2 months. And of course, you know, when you go to an ER, you wait a long time to be seen generally, at least in my neck of the woods. And, you know, frustrated over the wait, the girlfriend stops the doctor and says, you know, she needs to be seen. She needs this, that, or the other. And he says something like, you know, her insurance doesn't cover it, or it's probably just a minor thing. And the girlfriend goes into this sort of rant about how Black people and Black women specifically are often undertreated because the medical community on the whole doesn't take them seriously when they say they're in pain or they're having, you know, XYZ symptoms. And that is an actual thing that happens in the real world, unfortunately. But I didn't see why they had to bring that into it. It's like, you know, do you want this to be a superhero show, or do you want it to be a show that's commenting on, you know, the state of race in American society? Like, what? I don't know. I think if it's going to be a superhero show, it should leave that out of it. You know, let the characters stand for themselves. Let the other narratives stand on their own. Don't keep bringing this stuff into it. It doesn't bother me as a person. I don't hear that and go, oh, God, it's all about message and, oh, Black people this and Black people that, gay people this, gay people that. It doesn't bother me, but I think, as I've said before, they're not doing themselves any favors by having that stuff in there. They're just going to piss off the wrong people and they're going to get shit for it. And it doesn't really have any bearing on the rest of the show. It's not what the rest of the show is about. So I don't like that they're doing it because I think they're going to end up hurting the show overall. And, you know, it does kind of take you out of it when they bring up that stuff because it doesn't fit. It's not that it's a message. It's not that it's about Black people. It's not, it just, or gay people, whatever the message might be, or, you know, girl power or whatever. It just doesn't fit what the rest of it. It sticks out like a sore thumb and it's like, stop it. But while we're on the subject of this kryptonite poisoning, and I mentioned this a minute ago, after a couple of months now, it's finally bothering her. Why did it take 2 months or a couple of months for the kryptonite poisoning to like become a problem? I'm not understanding that. You would think that something like that would happen more quickly. Not because it's kryptonite necessarily, but just when you get an infection or when you're poisoned, you know, you can have a slow acting poison, but it'll take 2 months. So I don't know what's going on there. It's just something that makes me go, it makes me go out of the narrative, out of the story, because it doesn't make sense. So I wish they had done something earlier. And I believe I've been saying since the show aired, the second season premiere aired, that they need to, or the next episode. I've been saying since when she got the poison in that it was going to come up, and I didn't think it was going to be weeks later in the real world and months later in the show. It just doesn't make sense. So I was waiting for it, and I'm surprised we had to wait this long. So it comes out in this episode that the girlfriend is a snake bite dealer. She's one of the people dealing that drug that came up in the season premiere. Um, this is another plot that they've been dealing with on top of all the other plots. And this one I don't mind so much. It's a background plot, and they can build it and bring it to a climax later and have Batwoman take on the drug dealers. So it's good that they're laying the groundwork, but like, I don't know, it felt like they were laying the groundwork in the first 2 episodes of the seasons. Now it feels like they're just bringing it up and bringing it up and bringing it up to have something to talk about in the episodes, to have something to shoot, when they're trying to shoot scenes. I think it should have stayed in the background and then come at the audience, more intensely towards the end of the season and building to something. I don't know, maybe that's what they think they're doing, but it's just, I don't know. There's a fine line between building something up and dragging it out. And I think they're dragging it out. They're mentioning it too much. And so by the time they get to it, it's going to feel like it was dragged out. Not like something that, okay, we know about it and it's there. And then slowly, once every 4th episode, they mention it. No, they're mentioning it every week. They're just driving a train right through this plot. And I don't think it's a good idea. Then we have the plot with Alice and Ocean, and it's just very meh. I don't care. I'm glad that they're giving Alice a backstory as an adult, because the only backstory we had up to this point was when she was a kid, and then some flashback. Well, no, even those were when she was young and growing up. But this is a flashback thing they're doing now that shows her as an adult living on the island with brown hair or red hair, it looks like. So I think that's good, because I like the character and the actress does a good job. But the stuff they've been giving her to do, the stuff they gave her to do in the first season was horrible. The stuff they've been giving her to do in this season was a little better in the first couple episodes, but they were already ruining it, which I've been saying from the beginning was a possibility. I've been saying from the beginning of this season, they've got some stuff going on that could be great if they do it right. They've got some stuff they're not doing right that hopefully they'll taper off. But the show is not going in the direction that I thought it would go, at least not as of this episode, where it kind of just all, I don't know, came off as meh to me. Like even the previous episode, okay, there was something to sort of care about. And the first 2 episodes I thought were great. But this episode is where it just reminded me a lot of season 1, where it's just, so I don't know, I'm hoping it's a blip on the radar, because I like Javicia Leslie in the part. I like the Ryan Wilder character. So I'm hoping this episode is an anomaly, but we won't know till next week. But just to reiterate, I don't care about the snake bite plot with the girlfriend. I don't care about the cure plot. It kind of reminds me of the Mirakuru thing on Arrow in the first few seasons. I don't care about that plot. In the first couple of episodes, I thought they were going somewhere, bringing in Zaz. They mentioned the Black Mask. They've now mentioned the Joker by both his real name and his criminal name, his infamous name. And I suppose they're still dealing with the painting, but only because it's a map to the thing to find Kate, which is yet another plot that I don't care about, because I know they're not going to get Kate. So, and I've been saying right along, I hope they ditch that plot, because I thought they had other things going for them, and that if they just ditched that, they could have a good season. But they're still driving that train as well, right towards the ending that we know is coming, where they're not going to get her back. They're not going to find her. So why aren't they doing Joker? Why aren't they doing Zaz? Keeping Zaz around. Why didn't they bring out the Black Mask? Those could be interesting plots. Maybe Black Mask is behind the snakebite thing, but like, are they gonna hint more at that, or are they just gonna leave it that one mention for the whole season and then surprise, it's him? I think that would be a bad plan. So I don't know. Gotham did all of this better. They had Penguin. They had Riddler. They had sort of the Joker. They just did a better job of it. And it's funny because when Gotham first came out, I was like, who wants to watch a show without Batman? But it turned out to be a good show. I think they mentioned they had Zaz as well in it, if I'm not mistaken. But um, they had Freeze, they had Firefly. So I thought they did a good job with that show. And this show right now is not doing a good job. They were the first couple of episodes. They brought up some stuff. It could have been great, but they've left that by the wayside, and they're pursuing these other plots head on that I don't think are working. So I don't know. I may end up not reviewing this show anymore because it just might get to the point. Well, each week anyway, I might do bulk reviews, like 3 or 4 episodes at a time, because it's just so bad that I can't see sitting down every week to talk about how bad it is. I think that would drive me crazy if it continues to be bad like this episode was. So there you go. Still looking forward to the WandaVision season finale. We've got Superman coming up again tomorrow night. Flash is back tomorrow night. So I will definitely be back soon. But for now, I'm going to get out of here, and I will say once again, peace and long life.